The ego will try to be really sneaky by saying what you're doing is good for you, when in fact, if it is coming from this place of needing to be so disciplined and in control, it is feeding into this cycle of the limiting belief that it is not safe for you to be free. It is not safe for you to let go of control and live the way that you want to live. And ultimately, that is the pattern that we need to break free from in order to have a positive relationship with our body. And the other piece that the ego believes is that being hard on ourselves leads to discipline. So the ego will say that being cruel to yourself when you look in the mirror and never being satisfied with the way that you look is actually helping you to stay disciplined. Discipline really has an air of perfectionism to it. Discipline is like, if I don't do this right, then I'm in trouble. If I don't do this perfectly, then I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm deserving of punishment, I need to be more restrictive with myself tomorrow. Devotion is leading with your heart, doing something because you ultimately want to do it. Ultimately, you want to have a relationship with your body, so be devoted to it. Be devoted to checking in with yourself. When you are moving your body, does this feel right? Am I challenging myself because it feels good and it's invigorating? Or am I pushing myself and it feels painful and my body feels heavy and tired? The more that you can listen to and honor your body's needs, the deeper trust you will create with your body. And when your body starts to trust you again because you're listening to it, it's a two-way street. Your body starts to listen to you as you communicate what you're wanting to manifest, how you're wanting to feel, how you're wanting to look. Your body is going to communicate with you exactly what to do to get you there. And it's going to be through the things that feel good. Hi, my loves. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to my podcast if you're listening on there. For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Michaela. I'm a hypnotherapist and spiritual mentor, and right now I'm really passionate about sharing the realizations and things I've learned in my own personal healing and awakening journey to hopefully help you feel a little bit less alone on yours. Today is a topic that I've had a lot of resistance to creating videos on because I actually was planning on creating a whole entire course on how to heal your relationship with your body. I stopped creating that course because I received guidance to start putting out this information for free. And I really do feel so aligned with that guidance to put this out there for the collective so that we all have resources and knowledge on how to truly have a free and positive relationship with our bodies. The reason I had resistance to putting this out there is because in my past, diving into this topic, first of all, brought up a lot for me because it's something that I really struggled with throughout my life. And it also is a really nuanced topic. There are so many different areas that we could really dive into depth around. And it just kind of felt overwhelming to put it out all for free and not put it in this organized course layout. But my heart is calling me to do this, so I'm just going to start with a video that is an overview on how I started to heal my relationship with my body and some steps that I took to help me get there and to gain clarity on that. So the first thing that I think is really important to understand is that what led me here was the universe was dangling me a little carrot. I went through years of trying to control my body through diet and restriction and over-exercise, and I really struggled as a kid starting at about 10 years old with not fitting into any of the clothing in the girl stores that I went into. I was really overweight, really struggling, and I just had a really negative sense of self. I developed negative self-talk and really tried to control and restrict myself my whole life until I realized that I was on this hamster wheel and there was no way out. I was never, ever going to get to a place where I finally felt free as long as I tried to continue to control and restrict myself to get there. And so then the little carrot the universe was dangling me was around body manifestation, because I realized that I can manifest anything I want, then I can manifest changes in my physical appearance. But that led me to the path that I'm on now, which is having a healthy and loving relationship with my body. Because in order to manifest what you truly desire, You have to be able to let go of attachment. And it is really challenging to let go of attachment to your body changing when you have not done the inner work of creating a relationship with yourself, of strengthening and self-love. And so I learned how to do this specifically in regards to my relationship with my body, and I'm going to share those steps with you. The first thing that I want you to know is that wanting to manifest changes in your physical appearance really stems from two different places within us. One is the ego. So the ego decides that we need to change our physical appearance because we learn that we have to meet a certain standard of beauty in order to receive love and acceptance. So we associate love and acceptance with our ability to survive in this world. And because of that, our need to change our bodies is a desperate craving within us. Our ego then analyzes, well, how do I do this? How do I change my body? How do I look and feel more beautiful? We learn from analyzing the society around us that we do this through dieting, through control and restriction, and we cling onto that path with desperation throughout most of our lives, trying to change our bodies so that we can receive love and acceptance, so that we can feel safe. And so trying to break free from that pattern is incredibly difficult because trying to stop that cycle of endless dieting and restriction is like telling yourself, we're going to stop doing the thing that made us feel safe. We're going to stop doing that thing that made us feel like we would actually survive in this world. And so the ego will try to convince you at all costs that it is not safe for you to break free and to let go of control and have that life of freedom with your body. The other reason why it's really tricky is because the second place that this desire stems from is from our soul. Our souls want to feel good in our body. We want to feel connected to our body. We want to feel beautiful and vibrant and healthy and strong. And that is a true soul desire that so many of us actually have. We also have a soul desire to move our bodies. We are in these physical vessels for a reason because we want to move them, because we want to play and dance and kick and do whatever we want to do. We know this as kids because kids love to move. Before we learn that we have to move in a certain way, moving is just fun and we want to do it. It's the same with food. When we don't have all of these mind-dominated restrictions and narratives about what we should and shouldn't be eating, at the very core of it, we actually want to eat the foods that make us feel good. Maybe for the most part, you want to eat foods that really deeply nourish you, but because you're too far up in this control and restriction mentality, you can't even feel your body and you feel really out of control. So as I was editing this video, I realized I didn't make something quite clear about the difference between the soul desire and the ego desire. And I think this is really important for me to clear up right now. The soul desire is all based on how it wants to feel, how you want to feel in this life and in this body. Your soul desire is to feel beautiful, to feel vibrant and energized and connected to your body, to use this physical vessel in this lifetime to enjoy and experience and be present and feel healthy and energized. So the soul is always leading you down the path based on how you want to feel. The ego is going to tell you that the way to feel that way is by changing yourself, by not accepting how you look right now, by not accepting what you're doing right now and trying to force you on this path of control. Your soul knows that actually the only way to feel the way that you want to feel is to learn how to feel that way right now, through a presence of unconditional love and connection to yourself. Because the truth is that trying to control things externally is never going to feel satisfying. But if you can work on your relationship with yourself and your body in whatever state you're in right now, when you're not meeting those external appearance expectations, you are going to then create a solid foundation and relationship with yourself. And through that path, you actually do start to look and feel the way that your soul wants you to, the way that you truly want to look and feel. It does change the way that you appear to the world because your external reality is a reflection of how you feel. So as you start to feel different, as you start to feel more self-love, you're going to start to take actions that
are rooted in love because you want to take those actions, and you're going to start to glow. You're going to start to feel more confident in yourself, and that confidence, that connection to your body, the way you feel is going to be able to be sustained no matter what fluctuates, no matter what happens in your outside world, because you've created it from within. So that's why this path is so worth it, instead of constantly going on that hamster wheel of trying to fix yourself and change yourself. It is so worth it to do this work that I'm going to explain to you, because it will ultimately give you what you want. You will get those physical changes, but you're not going to feel so attached to them. And it's going to come from this place of freedom where you feel and look your best and you're so connected to your body. And I hope that that is clear. If you guys have any questions about the difference between what the soul really desires and what the ego is leading you towards, please comment them below, because your questions help me to gain clarity on how to express these things more clearly. And now let's go back to my original video.
It makes it a lot harder to break out of the ego attachment, because the ego will use that soul desire to cover up how unhealthy some of these patterns we're in are. For example, your ego might tell you, hey, we need to go to the gym today. We need to move. We haven't moved at all, and it's not safe for us to not move. We need to be working hard because we need to be disciplined in order to get the body that we need. And the soul desire there is, it actually does feel really good to move. So my soul does want to do that. But we have to learn how to break free from those shoulds in order to get freedom. So I'm going to kind of explain this as we go through the steps, but in that moment, I would check in with myself. Does my body want to go to the gym? And often this is done through trial and error, where like I would go to the gym and then realize, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. And I would actually train myself to experience freedom by listening to that and finding another way to move my body. And I'll dive into that more in a second. But basically what I want you to know is that the ego will try to be really sneaky by saying what you're doing is good for you, when in fact, if it is coming from this place of needing to be so disciplined and in control, it is feeding into this cycle of the limiting belief that it is not safe for you to be free. It is not safe for you to let go of control and live the way that you want to live. And ultimately, that is the pattern that we need to break free from in order to have a positive relationship with our body. And the other piece that the ego believes is that being hard on ourselves leads to discipline. So the ego will say that being cruel to yourself when you look in the mirror and never being satisfied with the way that you look is actually helping you to stay disciplined. And so the way that we tackle this is through the steps that I'm going to name, and through really counteracting that and creating a whole new side of us that is stronger and believes in this path of freedom. So let's dive into some of these steps. Again, there's so much more I could say on this topic, so please make sure to comment all of your questions below. I want to give away all of the information that I'm capable of. But the first step on your path to freedom is really understanding that your ego is in the driver's seat, and that your ego is stemming from a wounded inner child, a part of you who learned that they were never enough and that they needed to change themselves. Connect to that wounded part of you. Journal about it. When did you first learn that you needed to change something about your body? When did you first learn that your body was bad or wrong? Who did you learn that from? Start to get really clear on where these beliefs started to take over in your life and disconnect you from your body. And as you do, make the conscious decision to no longer let the wounded part of you lead your life, to no longer let the wounded part of you continue to restrict you and control you. And that's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of practice and a lot of self-awareness. So I really highly suggest journaling on those experiences you had as a kid and becoming so aware of that fear and pain and suffering that you went through, of believing that you needed to look different and control and restrict yourself in order to receive love, in order to be attractive, because that is a limiting belief and that is not the truth. You can have freedom and you can feel healthy and vibrant and attractive in your skin at the same time. You get to have both. So the second step is to connect to a presence of unconditional love within yourself and start to speak to that part of you the way that they needed to be spoken to. Start to tell them what is really true. Start to instill in them that you accept them where they are. And I want to be very clear that unconditional, powerful self-love does not happen when we are doing everything perfectly. In fact, if you feel like you're not doing everything perfectly right now, if you're struggling with finding movement that works for you, finding a way of eating that works for you, now is the time to love yourself ferociously. And if you struggle with self-love, know that it's something that does feel weird at first. It feels fake at first. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel right. But keep going, keep practicing it, and I promise you eventually it will start to land. And if you start with self-acceptance, that can really help with the whole practice of self-love, because it's kind of like building a bridge from lack of self-acceptance, self-hatred to, okay, I can accept myself where I'm at. And as you start to accept yourself, that might open you up to deeper feelings of self-love. Step 3 is to be devoted, not disciplined, to connecting and healing your relationship with your body. My belief is that discipline really has an air of perfectionism to it. Discipline is like, if I don't do this right, then I'm in trouble. If I don't do this perfectly, then I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm deserving of punishment. I need to be more restrictive with myself tomorrow. Devotion is leading with your heart, doing something because you ultimately want to do it. Ultimately, you want to have a relationship with your body, so be devoted to it. Be devoted to checking in with yourself. When you are moving your body, does this feel right? Am I challenging myself because it feels good and it's invigorating? Or am I pushing myself and it feels painful and my body feels heavy and tired? The more that you can listen to and honor your body's needs, the deeper trust you will create with your body. And when your body starts to trust you again because you're listening to it, it's a two-way street. Your body starts to listen to you as you communicate what you're wanting to manifest, how you're wanting to feel, how you're wanting to look. Your body is going to communicate with you exactly what to do to get you there. And it's going to be through the things that feel good. Pleasure, having joy as you move, having joy in what you eat. And I know that might feel far off if you're in a place of restriction and disconnection from your body, but I just want you to know that it's possible. And it's possible through experimenting with this devotional process, checking in when you're eating something. You know, this didn't really make me feel that good this time, and so maybe next time I'm going to try to make this with different ingredients. Trial and error, experimenting, and ultimately, instead of reading and listening to things outside of you, listen to yourself. The fourth step is just to know that it's going to feel unsafe for you to do this. You are breaking free from a survival pattern. You're learning how to give yourself what you need and how to create enough safety to be able to make these changes and to be able to have freedom. And your ego, your fears, they're all going to come up and tell you you're not doing enough. You're letting yourself go. You're going to see distorted images of yourself in the mirror. That is when you ferociously practice that self-love and trust. Know that this freedom is worth it. Know that you are worth it and that you truly owe it to yourself to experience connection with your body in this life, to be able to be present and not feel so obsessed with the way that you look and the way that you're eating all the time, to actually be able to live and keep that end goal in mind when those fears come up and stay focused on your path. Step 5 is to really remove yourself from anything that is keeping you stuck in that old energy. So whether that's social media accounts that you follow, maybe you get off of social media in general, maybe it's certain people that you hang out with who perpetuate really disordered habits or negative self-talk. Really protect yourself, protect your peace, and treat yourself like you're in a cocoon of healing before you fly free, because that is what you are doing. You are healing some of the deepest layers of yourself, and your relationship with your body is a challenge to heal in this life. There's so much noise outside of you that is going to try to get you to stay up in your head and out of your body. But what you really want to do is bridge that gap between your head and your body again and really start to listen and let your body lead you, because not only is that going to make you feel better in your skin, but you are going to start to hear your intuition more loudly in regards to everything in your life. You're just going to start to feel so much better. And this path is challenging. It's going to come with a lot of different fears that pop up, but I promise you, you can do it. As someone who is really on the other side of this path, not to say that I don't have those fears pop up anymore, but I don't listen to them anymore. And I'm really proud of myself around that. I feel so free and so much more connected to my body. And I'm telling you that it is 100% worth it and that it is possible for anyone to get here. So please comment your questions about body image healing, body manifestation, all of this stuff below. I would love to dive into this more. And I'm going to continue to share more of what I said in detail so that we can really break it down, because I know that when it comes to intuitive eating and all of this stuff, it can feel so much more complicated than just saying, devote to your body, trust yourself. I'm not trying to gloss over anything, but I did want to lay a foundation for what I will be talking about and open up the floor for you guys to ask questions. I'm also going to be creating some meditations and hypnotherapy sessions available in my shop. If you guys are wanting to go a little bit deeper, it's a great way to support me, my business, and my channel if you do feel called. It's never expected. But another way to support me would be to like and subscribe to my channel, comment your questions below, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.